Hello, hello, Janice here with your November 2022 monthly update. Well, we've just had Halloween and it couldn't get more scary, could it, guys? What a month, what a period we've had here. You couldn't write it, could you? It's amazing. The drama of it has been amazing. And I wanted to see how that translated into the reading for this month, to see how much of that energy actually came through in the reading. Not surprisingly, I think it has. So, as is my practice, I've taken 4 cards to help us guide through the month. And I don't know about you, but I certainly need all the help I can get this month. So the first card I normally draw is the overarching energy of the month ahead. And the card I've drawn is the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords is a very suspicious card. There's a deep well of suspicion that runs through the energy of the Page of Swords. Pages in tarot are always curious and future focused, and they want to know what's going on. Yeah, they want to know what's possible. And the Page of Swords is like a battle scout. So he's scanning for risk, and he's scanning to figure out what it is he needs to know that's going to be a problem. So this is an energy that's going to be informing us pretty much globally this month. It takes nothing at face value. It believes no one. It's saying, what do I need to know here? What's the subtext? It's sort of saying, well, you know, what don't I know that I should know? What don't I know that I don't know? And it's really, you know, investigative. So it's not really surprising with everything that's going on that there is a degree of uncertainty and suspicion that's going to be evident in the energy around us all this month. But and obviously it's very easy to read that into our political situation, but also let's look at how it informs us personally, because energy is contagious. And the energy in which we're walking through, breathing, interacting, communicating, that energy tends to, we sort of adapt within it and we become more resonant to it. So it's going to be quite important that we're really, really self-aware, and that we watch out for us in our own daily life, in our own communication, being quite sharp maybe, or doubting the motives of other people, being quite suspicious as to what did they mean when they said that. It's like there may well be this desire to read between the lines and figure out, you know, what's going on here that I should know. If you find yourself feeling like that and it's not usual for you, or you're feeling that you're you know, second guessing people that you normally don't second guess, then it's going to be important to just look at yourself in that, going, am I just literally absorbing this energy that's around everybody? You know, communication could get sharp and snappy and a bit combative. So, you know, we could overreact to things and just become a bit too, I don't know, just a bit too critical in our way of dealing with each other. So let's just watch for that and try and pull back on that energy if we can. So what are we asked to embrace? What is going to serve us best in the month of November in this difficult situation? The Magician. I really like the Magician. It's one of my favorite cards in tarot. And the Magician is the master of energy work. And what this tells us is that we are responsible for our own energy and what we create in our own lives. Now, I know that seems like, you know, a bit of a, I don't know, it just seems a bit of a blah thing to say in a situation like this because we don't feel responsible. But in some way, we're all informing the energy. We're all informing how things work out. We have a part to play, and it's asking us to take responsibility for our own energy and what we are creating moving forward. If we play into this, if we join in some way, then we're going to be ramping it up even more. So it's important that we also start thinking about what we're creating in the path ahead. What is it that we think we're walking into, and what are we doing about it energetically? What are we feeding, and what are we creating? So it's really asking us to look at that in a positive way and to see that we do have power. What we do within our own energetic field informs what goes on around us. Collectively, we join together and we have more power than we think we do. Hopefully. Anyway, so what is going to challenge us in the month ahead? Well, we've got justice. Well, okay, no surprises there. This next month is always going to be around what's fair and what's not, and the consequences of what has happened, and dealing with the consequences of what has happened and what is happening around us. So what's fair and what's not is going to be a tough call for us, because it could tempt us into victimhood. It could tempt us into a feeling of like, well, you know what? It's just, there's nothing I can do. It's not my fault. It's not fair. So whatever. We've got to be really careful that we don't feed into that energy. And again, within our own lives, we've got to work out how we're showing up. Where are we saying it's not fair in our lives? And it's really important to look at morality this month as well. You know, the right and wrong. And how does that inform? And we're going to be challenged by that. So what we think is right and wrong is going to be a bit of a challenge this month. And we're going to be asked to step back and really take a good hard look at that and the consequences of that as we move through the month. So not easy. Lots of big questions to be answered. So what's the message from Spirit to us in the month of November 2022? The Queen of Swords. Well, the Queen of Swords is a bit of a gritty old card, isn't it? I mean, look at her. She is not a woman to be messed with. Now, the queens in tarot simply mean that we have to embody an energy, and it means that basically we have to take responsibility for our situation. Now, you know, as a message from Spirit, it's a little bit tough love, and I can almost see them sort of sitting there kind of going, you know what, guys? I mean, there's only so much we can do. You guys have got free will down there. And you know what? If you really want to create chaos, you go right ahead. You do you. You know, we're here when you need us. But, man, you're going to have to roll up your metaphorical sleeves and sort this lot out. Because you know what? We can't help you with it if you won't play ball. The Queen of Swords is the tough love card, and she tells us whatever the situation is, we've got to kind of accept it and deal with it. Now, I know I'm making light of it a little bit, but nevertheless, here we are. And there is no doubt that in the month ahead, there are many of us who are going to have to make some pretty gritty decisions. And I know that's no laughing matter, but nevertheless, we are where we are. And for all of us, we're going to have to, make the best of it, but also be quite tough in the way we deal with what our expectations are. We've got to show up tough. We've got to show up like we mean business here. the challenge of justice, the challenge of what's right and wrong and what we decide is okay, that is going to be a big ask. And we have to take the wheel. We have to make the right decisions moving forward. Otherwise, we're going to have to face consequences, more consequences than we don't want to face. No, it's not an easy reading. But you know what? I have to call it like it says. So I hope that things do get a bit easier this month. It feels like we're going through a bit of a challenging time again, and we're just going to have to deal with it in the best way that we can. So again, look out for how this shows up for you personally. We've all got to show up in the most positive light possible, as is possible for each of us. So I hope that has been useful. I certainly was very interested to see what was going to show up, and I'll be taking it on board personally in my own life. I hope it's useful to you, and I will see you next month. It'll be interesting to see what comes up next month. I will see you next month, and in the meantime, I'm always here for a reading if you need one. And can I remind you, if you do want to leave a little comment, it's always appreciated. If you listen to the reading and you've enjoyed it, or you have something to say, I'm always interested to hear. Like and subscribe. We have to say that at the end of YouTube videos to encourage you to like and subscribe. But more importantly, enjoy your month as best you can, and I wish you love, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.